I want to play this for our guest right now. Wells, I want you to hear this long ass question real quick before we bring you on. Go ahead, Dave.
You've clearly shown that you want to build through the draft, and you will spend in free agency. Now that you're in a position of having, $120+ million salary cap space, will it be hard to be disciplined, or you just you have that mindset where you're not going to deviate on what you have done here and what you've done with previous teams?
No, look, we'll stay.
Who tapped? Did he get tapped on the shoulder to answer that question? Well, what you doing out there? You trying to do a filibuster on the first question?
Oh, hey, yeah, my boy Grady is definitely on the TV side. Asking questions for that, 5-second cliche answer. But I still love him. Oh man, yeah, you knew I was coming rebuttal on that one, man.
Oh yeah. Did you once the press conference was over and Joe said he was talking for 35 minutes, stuck around for 50, did you get what you were looking for heading into the press? Did you come out of it feeling like you got what you were looking for?
Well, let me backtrack. Clearly Joe has an Ohio State education, because I don't know how we got 35 minutes out of a 48-minute conversation. But, those boys at Ohio State, whatever it takes to cut corners to try to win.
Listen, Wells. Listen to what he said. He said 35 minutes, and then that's when Chris Ballard says, come on, what else you got? That's what we said, and then he went for 50.
Yeah, 48 minutes, Joe. But, again, we know how Buckeyes do it and stuff. Y'all aren't exactly the brightest ones around. But, anyways, honestly, what I got to have that
big man
at that press conference is Chris Ballard's not changing. He's not changing his approach just because the Colts got back to the playoffs, because Andrew Luck's healthy, and because they have, basically a Toys R Us budget to be able to sign some free agents this offseason.
Do you, when he says that, he wants to develop his own and that's part of the philosophy? Actually, let me ask this, because this was my thing after hearing your Q&A with him. I still want to know if there's a big budget guy and he wants to be in Indianapolis, which was a part of Chris's criteria. He fits the locker room culture, which is a part of Chris's criteria. And would Chris pursue that? Would that be a situation where he would be okay getting out of character?
He's going to pursue, but based off what he said, you can tell he's got a dollar amount that he's going to go on, whatever that player is. If there's a big name, quote-unquote big name player out there, he's not going to sit here and just spend just to sign his big name player. If there's a line there and that player wants to go over it by $5, $6, $7 million, Chris Ballard may not go after that player. He may say, all right, you know what, thanks, but we're not going to spend any extra money on you.
How some of these guys, because this is the other danger. You could fall in love with these guys so much because it was such a fun and magical year that you could hang on to them too long. So how take a guy like Ryan Grant, Al Woods.
Bye.
Al Woods.
You know what? I like Al Woods on a budget. Al Woods right. on a budget. Ryan Grant, I'll see you later, bro.
Okay.
You sit here, with a guy like Ryan Grant, you're like, all right, now I see why the Ravens, said you quote unquote failed your physical. We're gonna go get Michael Crabtree.
Wells, I already used this line before, or some variation of it. But every time Ryan Grant I had a catch this season, I would say to myself, oh yeah. Like I literally thought he was on IR or was released at some point, or I had to be reminded that he was still on this football team, because he caught a ball once a blue moon. So no, especially with Andrew Luck, who will find you if you're open, and a coaching staff who's going to put you out there if you can effectively make plays. That's not a good sign if you're making if you are being noticed once a month.
Well, exactly, and here's the thing: the coaching staff puts you in a position to have success. Chester Rogers couldn't catch a pass, longer than 15 yards outside of the one he did against the Dolphins where he was wide open. So instead of having to run deep routes and try to throw the ball to him, they did a lot of bubble screens with him. A lot of bubble screens, using them in motion and stuff like that. They put them in position to have success. Ryan Grant, they're like, oh, damn, your ass just can't play, bro. So why don't you just go ahead and have that toe injury or whatever.
Yes.
35, one touchdown for the $5 million.
And speaking of can't catch and all that, was it you and Joe that had the heated debate, or heated by our standards, about Darius Fountain?
No, that wasn't me. Cause
No.
Here's the deal.
It was like coming off the practice squad.
I was sticking up for him.
You remember that?
Oh yeah, when all them dudes catch a football, and he was like, well, Reese Fountain's gonna be up. Reese Fountain will be up. There's a reason why he's on the practice squad. Hey, and Reese Fountain showed on Saturday afternoon. Why hit the squad?
You were right on that one. I was absolutely wrong.
Hey, Grady, bro. I got a drink for you next time I see you. Remind me. You remember? I mean, Big Joe was adamant. He was like, no. Reese is coming on the active roster. He's coming on the active roster. Reese Fountain is known for Twitter and can't catch a damn football. But we do have to preface it. When Grady says heated, for Big Joe and I, that was as heated as it go. And trust me, it was all about cracking jokes on each other. So it wasn't truly heated. But I will say this. I'm going to straight crip walk off the stage on this one because I got it.
I will admit it. All right, let me throw the two other receivers out there, Chester Rogers and Zach Pascal.
I like Zach. Chester's just a receiver, in my opinion. Just a receiver.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to sit here, if he can get some more money, okay, fine. But if I re-sign him, he's going on the cheap.
I kind of agree with you, and that's why I'm looking around and I see a guy like Cordero Patterson of New England. He's got a $4 million number, but if you were paying $5 million, for Grant, I don't know, just to get him away from New England, number one, and then he could be a returner, and then he's got the speed down the field. I'm just wondering if a guy like that, and again, I don't know anything about the kid, so I don't know if he fits in. But on the other side of that, maybe closer to a number 2 guy to make T.Y. your number 1. Golden Tate's got that attitude that you love on the field.
Yes.
And he's a $6 million guy. He'd be coming from Philly.
Which is kind of the same system.
31.
They kind of basically kept the same system. Hey, go back to Cordell Peterson. Listen, my man, punt returner, receiver, he even played running back for the Patriots. Yeah. So he's basically like a Swiss Army knife. He can do a little of everything in that area for you. But, yeah, the thing is, this free agent class, there's not much out there.
Nope.
There is not. This is not a good year to have $120 million to be able to spend because the class is relatively weak. There's going to be a lot of teams, and I don't think the Colts are going to be there. I really believe Chris Ballard is going to stand his ground on this. There's going to be a lot of teams paying a lot of guys way too much money.
At the same time, you still have to be cognizant of your window, which you feel like is wide open. And so if the free agency class is dried up, how apt is he to pursue a trade?
He's got a lot of draft picks. To work with, and you got Jacoby Brissett, the dangle out there.
You do. And again, I asked this because, okay, so there isn't free agents out there, so we're going to develop Margus Hunt into a pass rusher? We're going to stick with the same crew that couldn't get to the quarterback last season? Like, I have no belief that the guys who are on that defensive front are going to be able to effectively get – I don't care how much you try to develop them. They're not going to automatically turn into J.J. Watt or difference makers on that line. You're going to have to continue to blitz Kenny Moore's little ass on the quarterback to be able to get some sort of a pass rush. So you have to figure something out.
Yes. No, you're right. Three things. A, Ballard acknowledged that, yeah, he would love to get some pass rush up. He did openly talk about that. 2, with Jacoby Brissett, he's heading into the final year of his contract. So 3, this is not a strong draft for quarterbacks. You got Big Joe's boy Haskin, and then you're going to have Murray entering the draft. That's 2 first-round quarterbacks. So this is not a strong draft for quarterbacks. Here's an opportunity for them to dangle Jacoby Brissett out there and see what you can get out of it. So, because we know this is a quarterback-driven league, and when there's not a lot of guys, there's no Baker Mayfields or Sam Darnolds out there in this draft class. Teams are going to be looking to find a starting quarterback. So
And
this is a chance for Ballard to improve the roster in that area.
And it's going to be tough, too, because there are other quarterbacks in that. There are other teams that have that same type of scenario. Joe Flacco, what are they going to do with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, Teddy Bridgewater in New Orleans, and then you have Jacoby Brissett. So we'll see how proactive those other teams are as far as getting rid of their guys. There is value in keeping a backup quarterback, but you're right, Wells. That has to be near the top of your list. If you say, oh, well, we're going to have to pursue a trade to bring somebody in here that we need, then you have to think about it. You have to.
Exactly. Hey, by the way, we got to sidetrack for a second because you guys called me out last Tuesday. You guys called me out.
We call you out every week.
No. First of all, Joe, your ass don't call me out because you're Joseph Corny, so you don't call me out. Brady calls me out. You're the little brother looking over Brady's big ass head, saying, "Yeah, he got you."
Come on, man.
So
quit talking about my head, man.
hey, and you know I got you good on that text I sent you too.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Hey, but y'all picked to kind of get on me about my pick over the Colts and Texans. I went out of my way, called in on Friday, and Grady said, "Oh, the weather's in the favor of the Colts. I'm going with the Colts here." That was an ass beating.
Hey, it wasn't the blizzard I thought it was going to be, man.
That's this week.
Hey, y'all knew I was not going to let you off the hook on this one the way y'all blasted me last Tuesday.
No, and you know what? And there were two plays where I said we can just go home. One was on one of the first two drives. Mahomes was running hard to his right and threw it across his body and hit a guy on the money. And then the other was that sidewinder curve pass that he threw around the defender into Kelsey's hands. And I said, you just, like, the offense can't get going, and this fool was throwing those passes. Like, we can all just go home.
Bruh.
So it just sometimes your team ain't got it.
The two other, I'll make it 4 plays. Those two, the first drive when Eric Ebron dropped the football on third down, you're like, oh. They say, oh, no, actually, I'm going to make it 5. So that one.
Okay.
On that one, the Tyreek Hill reverse. My man he was out there doing that old school playground stuff, weaving in and out, untouched for a touchdown. And then when Eric Ebron ran on third down and stopped 2 yards short of the first down marker. What the hell are you doing, dog? How are you going? You're supposed to run to the marker and get the first down. You're going to stop 2 yards short and be wide open and still not get the first down. I was like, nah. I said, this ain't the case.
This ain't the day. This ain't the day. So that's a. Before we wrap up, this is a question I'm going to ask Joe a little bit later on. The future of the AFC. The Colts are certainly there. The Chiefs, with a second-year quarterback and what they've done this season, they're certainly there. Let's scratch New England off, for the moment, even though Brady wants to play like 4 more years. What other teams do you think, okay, the Colts are definitely going to be competing with these squad as they try to pursue, an AFC title game and eventually that Super Bowl?
You know what? That's about because Phillip Rivers is up there in age.
Right.
I think the window for the Houston Texans is closing because I don't have faith in that defense. I think Deshaun Watson is going to be Deshaun Watson, but until they get another receiver to go with Hopkins, they're not going to do anything. And I just feel like J.J. Watt and Clowney in that defense continues to underachieve. I'm going to say, and like you said, Patriots out of it. I'm just saying essentially Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I mean, is there a big Joe? Come back to the big boy table. Is there anybody else we're missing?
You forget about Cleveland. Because I just went through the divisions, and somebody is going to have to win the AFC North. I think Baltimore falls out. I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to be what people. I think he's great at what he does, but I think he's going to have to throw the ball a hell of a lot better for them to be good consistently.
The team's going to figure him out. They're going to figure him out, yes.
Pittsburgh's going to fall apart. I mean, you're not going to have a quarterback. That's where the Jacoby Brissett thing comes into me. That would be very, very interesting if Pittsburgh would try and make a move for a Jacoby Brissett type guy. Cincinnati would just have to see how this new coach, takes. I think Cincinnati's got some talent, but we'll see how their coach is able to get anything out of Andy Dalton.
Man, look at you sticking up for Ohio, for the state of Ohio, man.
Yeah, no, stick a fork in.
Well, that's what I say. Cleveland was the only other team
Cleveland
in there, but I'm leaving New England in there. I mean, you can't just because I hate him.
Yeah.
But, Houston, and if Jacksonville could get a quarterback, Jacksonville's right back in it.
No, I don't believe it because Jalen Ramsey is too much. He's too immature, man. I don't have him and Fournette are too immature. They don't have the professional mindset to get the job done. Because once they proved this year, they don't know how to handle success.
Right.
You thought they were building on it. They became a bunch of knuckleheads and were a major distraction for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, they're going to probably have to go somewhere else to do that. And here's what I'm curious about this Sunday is what Bill Belichick has up his sleeves to slow down Patrick Mahomes, because something tells me they're going to find a way to slow him down. I'm not saying the Patriots are going to win the game, but Patrick Mahomes is not going to be out there having a field day against the Patriots.
I tell you what, man, I was disappointed in how the Colts played. I wasn't angry. I will be angry if the New England Patriots find a way to slow down Kansas City. It'll be a fun game, and I can't wait to watch it. My man, we'll talk to you soon, brother. You got vacation coming up soon?
Man, sorry about knuckleheads, man. I'm too busy handling my second grade boys basketball team. Get these boys to learn how to pass. They out there acting like Michael Grady and not wanting to pass the rock anymore, man. That's what I go. Hey, Big Joe, you should come to one of our games, man.
All right, leave me
There you
tickets.
go. No.
Hey, you want tickets or some chicken wings? I'm out. Be good, bro.
Okay. All right, Tyronn Lue. Way to go, Coach. Back in a moment here on The Fan. Don't go anywhere. More from Chris Ballard talking about Frank Reich. That's next.